喺灣區以北咧，有一個世界聞名嘅 Napa 酒鄉喎。呢度咧可以話咧係新世界酒嘅代表產區。相信咧好多朋友咧都可能嚟過呢度啦，但係咧大部分嘅人咧可能都嚟到呢度咧都係參觀啲酒莊同埋品下酒啫。你哋有冇睇過啲葡萄係點樣摘嘅咧？啊，同埋啲釀酒釀造嘅過程如何咧？俗語話啊嘛，餐酒不分家。葡萄美酒與美食又應該點樣去配搭先至好咧？啊，大廚真姑今日咧就嚟拜訪一位華裕酒莊嘅主人，但係首先咧，我哋咧要跟住一個天都未光啊就要起床嘅釀酒師一齊咧嚟到呢個葡萄園咧採摘啲葡萄啊！哇！依晚卒之揾到你啦，嗰度同蕩失路。
哎呀，Martin你好啊！
喂，點解着工作服都咁靚㗎嚇？
聽講你嚟啊嘛。
歡迎我係嘛？
係啦係啦。
你大概呢度呢個葡萄園大概幾大到啊？
葡萄園咧大概咧係有10英畝嘅，係啦，90年代咧就開始㗎啦。咁喺呢度嘅黑皮諾咧係1996年種嘅，咁呢啲咧係新種落嚟嘅，由 Cabernet Sauvignon 啦，咁同埋咧我仲有少少嘅呢個 Chardonnay 嚇。咁咧我哋種葡萄咧亦都係有規矩嘅，摘葡萄咧亦都係有呢一個季節嘅喎。依家係9月份，你今日嚟得正啦。啊，今日咧我哋咧就準備咧嚟摘提子啦。本身係讀法律嘅，喺外語學院度咧係讀呢個國際經濟法，咁啊，然之後咧嚟美國美利堅大學留學，咁啊，然之後留喺美國，之後嚟加州咧，亦都係想喺加州攞一個法律嘅一個博士學位，然之後喺加州呢度做律師，點知嚟到呢一度咧就太中意呢度嘅紅酒，然之後就係咁樣碰碰撞撞咁樣嚇就入咗行，就一入不可收拾咁樣嚇沉迷落去啦嚇，到依家咧都仲未醉醒。
工作人員啊！今日咧，而家你知好難揾人噶嘛，我今日嚟幫手啊！
嗱，首先咧，我哋咧摘提子之前咧嚇，就係要將呢啲葉咧全部掹晒佢落嚟。
掹晒落嚟先。
係啦，掹晒佢落嚟，但係要溫柔啲喎嚇。
溫柔啲。
係啦，掹晒出嚟咧睇得清楚啲啦，係咪？
係啦。
摘嗰時候咧，咁樣咧啲葉咧唔會擋住我哋個手。咁我哋摘嗰時候咧嗱，
你睇係就喺嗰個角落。
係啦，喺一個角落，然之後咧45度角呵。
45度角。
係啦，45度角，然之後上一剪，咁佢出咗嚟啦。
嗱，一剪你睇下。
一抽。嗱，我哋點知啲提子咧係咪熟咧？其實咧都有奧妙嘅喎。以前咧古法咧又未有實驗室啊，乜嘢都未有嗰時候咧，我哋啲釀酒師佢點做咧？我哋將每一個角落嘅提子都摘，然之後咧將佢咧擺個袋入邊搓之後咧嗰啲汁咧嘗一嘗，咁你知道咧佢平均嗰個糖分去到邊度，佢酸度向邊度。咁咧嗱，聞一聞下，Martin，
係啊，
同埋咧。最緊要咧係睇佢嗰個核啊嚇！如果咧嗰個果咧佢係熟嘅話咧，佢個核咧係咧會呢個棕色嘅；如果佢個核咧係未嗰個果係未熟咧，佢咧會係青色嘅。然之後咧個皮咧係分開咗出嚟。咁咧我哋點解要喺朝頭早摘咧？你知唔知點解啊？
我哋12點鐘起身。
未瞓啊！
未瞓過，琴晚唔使瞓覺。
因為咧，當啲提子咧，我哋一摘咗落嚟之後咧，就已經係同呢棵樹咧，佢已經開始分離啦。咁嗰個糖咧，佢就開始咧一個分解啦。咁你諗下，如果個太陽一出嚟嗰時候咧，咁嗰啲糖咧就一滴一滴咁滴晒落嚟。咁我哋咧係唔想咁樣嘅，我哋要做得專業啲，所以咧我哋咧要喺呢個凌晨好凍㗎，係其實我哋係騰騰震㗎。
係啦，騰騰震。
係咁咧。將佢個糖分咧係保持到最好，將提子佢個新鮮度咧亦都係保持到最好。 我開始咧接觸呢個紅酒行業咧，係由出口開始，出口紅酒開始。咁咧，我發覺咧就每一款咧我挑選嘅酒咧喺市場上面嘅接受程度咧都係非常之好。然之後咧，因為我本身住喺酒莊區呢度，咁啊得天獨厚。咁我發覺咧，既然係一個咁成功嘅一個選擇，咁不如咧再深入啲學習啦。然之後咧，我就開始同釀酒師學習，同埋咧係入去葡萄園，係跟人哋咧去葡萄園去點樣去種提子，去將啲提子係種得更加好。然之後咧，又點樣將啲提子咧係釀成唔同嘅 style 嘅一款酒。其實係由開始係好奇，慢慢咧就係由 curious 到咗呢個係 serious。講咁多 ，Martin， 你想唔想試下摘咧？
梗係要試下啦。咁你同我攞住㗎啦。
好啊，我幫你攞住啦，換一換啦。
第一件事咧，將葉粒掹咗佢先。摘嗰陣時咧，攞住水45度咁樣摘，即刻就有一抽出嚟啦。
今年好特別喎，今年係雙春兼閏月，葡萄嘅生理要跟住咧天乾地支，然之後咧佢咧係會延遲咗1個月嘅生長期。佢係今年係生得慢啲，係同往年咧佢嗰個生理係唔同咗啊嘛。咁幾時特別今年都多雨水，大家知啦，全個加州下嘅雨水係過去52年咧最多嘅一年啦。今年咧又凍喎。咁啊，所以咧，我哋咧喺呢個葡萄種植嗰時候咧，我哋咧每一個月咧都要睇住個天嚟辦事㗎。點啊，Martin，夠喉未啊？啱先摘到背未啊？
今日你哋咁快手，因為有我幫手啊嘛，係嘛嗱？
有啲道理。
摘完之後咧，你睇下嗱，摘完之後就放晒呢度。
冇錯。
嚟咗咁跟住嚟咧，啲葡萄拎去邊啊？
嗱，我哋咧啲葡萄咧，等陣咧摘完之後咧，佢會全部滿晒嘅，會有好多個邊，然之後咧上一部大車，馬上咧就拉去咧我哋嘅釀酒廠㗎啦。
咁辛苦喎，啲辛苦工嚟嘅喎。
係啊，真係辛苦工，所以咧要珍惜每一樽酒。咁啊，講到每一樽酒咧，我哋咧依家咧，我帶你嚟我哋嘅釀酒工場，咁嚟介紹我哋嘅釀酒工場個經理俾你識啦。Hey Jason。
Hey Jason, how are you? Hey, how are you?
Oh, welcome to Whiskey River Ranch Winery. Can I tell you a quick story?
I'm listening.
Okay, so you're my first celebrity chef that I ever watched. So my grandmother and I used to watch your show religiously.
Wow.
Yan Can Cook. And,
True story.
Yeah, never missed it. So
Good.
This is awesome to meet you. So welcome.
我哋今日咧摘嘅提子咧，啱啱稱咗咧係一共咧係2.7噸啊。咁2.7噸咧係幾多咧？係大概係150箱嘅1800支，每一支係750毫升。
That machine right there, close to 200,000.
20萬美金就係呢個咪先，我隻鑊咧20蚊
美金啊！
即係呢度咪20萬美金，哇！真係好犀利。Amazing machine！
你咧就係咁樣一倒落去，佢個機咧入邊咧已經分咗唔同嘅部門嚇，將你啲框係框嚇，果係果，汁係汁，全部你已經分晒部門㗎啦，去唔同嘅地方啊！我哋依家咧就係分開咗啲框，同埋啲果，然之後咧就係啲汁，然之後咧就係啲核，咁啊去咗4個部門㗎咯呢一度。咁啊依家你喺度做緊呢個動作咧，就係令到啲框咧呢度咧唔好 overflow。嗱依家咧阿 Jason 咧拉緊過嚟嗰啲咧就係啲核啦。
呢啲核嚟嘅，全部都核 seed， all seed。
嗰個摘提子嘅時間係摘得非常之啱，因為佢啲核咧全部咧已經係到咗啱係時候熟，冇過熟，因為太熟嘅時候咧糖分過高咧，酸度咧就減咗，同埋呢啲框咧部機咧係 自動分晒出嚟。嗰個桶入邊咧，依家咧剩翻咧就全部咧係提子嚇同埋佢啲皮嘅啫。咁咧呢啲咧我哋全部咧係到時候咧係全部將呢啲農業自然發酵幾個月之後咧，1月份嗰時候咧再拉翻去葡萄園嗰度，喺我哋咧春天咧翻泥土嘅時候咧，就將佢哋咧擺翻入嗰啲泥土度入做肥，做一個天然嘅循環。其實我哋啱先咧順便咧同自己隻手咧做咗一個呢個抗氧化嘅手膜㗎啦，知嘛？係啊，又可以幫我哋去死皮啦，係嘛？又抗氧化啦嚇，年我都係咁樣做得到嘅。
陣間我幫你搽一搽面。
唉，就咁決定啦。
The first stage after crushing, the first stage is the first stage of fermentation.
Correct. So
Yeah.
it came from the crusher that
Yeah.
we saw, came in
Yeah,
off this
yeah.
machine here.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
gets pumped into a stainless steel vessel.
yeah.
Now, one of the reasons that we use stainless steel is it's completely neutral. It's
Yeah.
food grade.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it doesn't hold aromas, it doesn't
Yeah,
hold
yeah.
flavors, it doesn't stain, so
Yeah.
you're able to keep them clean. If you touch up here, you'll notice the cold jackets up at the top up
Yeah.
here. So these dimpled jackets allow us to control that process. So once the fruit is put into the tank, typically for reds, we'll do a little cold soak for a few days for flavor and color, and then we'll do analysis in the lab to determine what the acids are, what the pH is. We'll adjust those, we can manipulate those, and then we add nutrients, and then finally we put the yeast in, and we go through a 7 to typically 14-day fermentation on
Yep.
red. Once the wine is considered dry in the lab,
Yeah.
which is less than 1 gram per liter typically,
Yeah.
then we'll take reds, we'll drain the juice, which has now been converted to wine, and the skins will be left over. We load the skins into what's called a wine press. We press those out, and now we have 2 lots that we'll work on potentially blending as they age, which is where I'm going to take you next.
發酵嘅過程當中，佢每日個糖分降，你要睇實佢嗰個溫度同埋佢個糖分降。一到咗啱，你要即刻停。一次發酵，1年1次嘅釀酒，所以釀酒師嘅技術咧就係1+1，就係嗰樽就出咗嚟啦。
Take it into the cave,
Okay.
into the
Hey,
belly.
where's Yvonne?
I think she's somewhere back deep in the cave.
Well, we lock her in the bay cave. She loves wine so much.
So, Martin, welcome to our cave here at the winery. We're lucky enough to have one. It's a tremendous place used for aging and secondary fermentation. About 6,000 square feet. And the nice thing about it is that we're getting Earth's cooling for free. So it's year-round in here, about 58 degrees.
58 degrees.
Which is perfect for the oak barrels in here. Barrels want to be filled. They don't want to be left open and dry, so these keep them moist, but then it also, that oak helps with that transmission for aging of oxygen.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize this wood, the air can actually permeate and then allow the secondary fermentation. That's also aging. Yvonne, are you getting locked up?
I am。Martin，我哋咧今日咧摘咗23年嘅黑皮樂咧，有榨汁啦，但我話俾你聽喎，冇得飲喎，今日。
根本點會冇得飲啊？
梗係啦，你榨汁下，我哋又要浸皮，然之後咧又要發酵，然之後咧嗱你睇，砰！今年個新嘅桶啱啱到，又仲要入桶。咁入桶咧，我哋呢一個黑皮樂咧，往年咧都係14個月到16個月喺個木桶入邊陳釀，然之後咧再上樽，上完樽之後咧唔係霸上飲㗎，上完樽咧仲要 bottle shot 㗎，仲要啲酒咧喺個樽入邊重新適應，有個適應期，再打開先嚟飲㗎，知嘛？咁今日就咁啦，我哋或者年半之後再見啦，好嗎？
好啊，年半再見。年半再見一個春天嘅約會。
但我對你冇咁殘忍嘅，雖然咧今年嗰啲都未飲得，我哋舊年嗰啲未上樽，咪偷啲嚟飲下先啦。阿太后都唔喺度。
唔好話俾你聽，唔好話俾 Jason 聽嚇。
係 OK，佢啱啱行開咗。嗱呢一個咧係我哋叫做偷酒器，係釀酒師嘅偷酒器。咁咧我哋一般咧 每一個桶咧，每一個月或者每2個月攞少少出嚟試下，試一試佢依家生命又變成點樣？咁咧呢個咧就叫做紅酒偷走器，偷走下。咁咧有呢個偷走器咧，我哋喺呢一個桶入邊咧，我哋都係舊年咧就係9月初摘嘅提子，然之後咧就已經喺個木桶入邊咧係有12個月㗎啦。咁今日咧俾你試下舊年摘嘅、舊年發酵嘅，同埋咧用呢一個法國Burgundy木桶做出嚟嘅呢個皇太后匹皮諾，試下咧。
乾杯！
乾杯！
啊，你好清。
係呢個係100%嘅。同一個葡萄園、同一個品種咧，就要做到100%。咁咧，所以咧呢度咧係寫住係 Este， 明白嘛
Este
係 Este
Vineyard
係啦 ，Este Vineyard。因為本身呢個咧係一個男性嘅一個行業，女性咧喺呢個行業入邊係偏少，亞洲女性就更加少。但係我發覺咧入咗呢個行業入邊咧，可以學習嘅嘢係好多，同埋咧係接受到嘅唔同嘅層面，無論係由葡萄種植啊、釀酒啊，或者係佢點樣去學，佢同邊一個學，你點樣可以學到本身唔係屬於我哋女性咁容易入得去一個行業嘅知識咧，都係一個過程，同埋咧亦都係一個對自己一個挑戰。因為我哋咧亞洲人咧飲酒咧係中意咧佢個酒體咧係重少少。飲到咧要有酒精度嗰個感覺，但係黑皮諾佢本身咧係比較優雅，佢酒精度咧亦都係會偏低啲嘅。咁因為咧呢個葡萄園咧佢個地理位置，佢咧又係有風向，然之後咧佢又係喺 Napa 個位置，所以咧佢個晏晝嗰時候個太陽都好猛，所以咧佢咧又有嗰個單寧，同埋咧佢又有嗰個感覺嗰個果漿嘅感覺喺度。所以我哋一般嚟摘呢一款提子咧，都係咧係葡萄嘅 Brix 咧係25左右。
Brix 就係即係糖分，
冇錯啦，就係糖分啦。然之後咧，我哋咧就用法國木桶嗱，呢個咧係我哋今年啱啱訂嚟做2023年嘅桶嚇，全部咧係法國原木咧係運過嚟。然之後呢個係我哋嘅葡萄園嚇，皇太后葡萄園嘅 signature 2023年嘅木桶。呢 ml 係咩咧？係即係話佢咧喺入邊咧，佢入邊啲木咧全部咧係經過火燒嘅嚇，全部係所以係 toasted。呢個咧係 medium long。咩叫 medium long？好似我哋煎牛扒 ，How would you like the steak to be？
唔係燒得太犀利，燒到啱啱一
燒到啱啱
medium。
係啦，然之後呢個咧就係佢嘅含重量。咁呢一個桶入邊咧就20幾箱酒喺度㗎啦。Cheers！
唔錯，都12個月之後都飲得落。
當你一罐酒慢慢飲落個喉嗰時候咧，你就慢慢覺得呢度咧好似有啲乸乸地，但係咧佢唔係話乸喉，佢只不過係有一種咁樣嘅新鮮嘅香味同埋嗰個感覺喺你個喉嚨嗰度。
今日咧雖然呢個仲相差2-3個月，然後先至可以入樽。係。今日學咗好多嘢，多謝晒。咁咧跟住嚟咧，我哋今日想試下品嚐下邊一個年份嘅酒。
如果係講緊同款嘅呢個黑皮諾嘅話咧，我覺得咧21年嘅係已經係非常之啱時間嚟飲㗎啦。要唔要試下？
一定要試下。
好啊！
即係21年嗰個 vintage 特別好。
係21年嗰個，依家係夠時候嚟飲嚇，因為20年咧好多已經賣晒啦。
留翻2樽啊！最緊要留翻2樽俾我。今朝早一早4點幾鐘就嚟到 Napa， 跟住嗰啲釀酒師咧去摘啲葡萄、採葡萄，跟住咧去生好啦睇下啲酒睇點樣釀酒，將嗰啲葡萄咧同嗰啲枝咧分開咗，哇！學咗好多嘢啊，辛苦咗一日，而家咧係時候咧享受人生，品下酒。嗱，你睇到嗰邊咧大把請咗好多朋友啊，把酒言歡，大家開開心心去品酒。
我咧就 做中美嘅貿易嘅生意咧，都做咗成30幾年㗎啦。咁我呢個係我個愛好，係我個 passion。Even today 咧，我都係好 active in 中美嘅呢個 trading manufacture investment I love what I'm doing。當我嚟到 Napa 之後咧，我覺得一個好深厚嗰個感受啦，覺得呢度天氣又好，文化包括呢度嘅酒酒莊藝術食品餐廳即係我覺得呢個地區咧帶來好多歡樂。我大概係5、6年前咧，我就買落咗呢個酒莊。咁咧呢個我咧就對酒咧就係唔係好認識嘅，就係只不過咧覺得呢度環境好舒服。但係咧經過呢5、6年之後咧，我學咗好多嘢，學咗好多，見到好多人，認識咗好多我想即係認識嘅人。
The Mayor of Napa,
Yes.
Mayor Scott, welcome.
Thank you. This is fantastic. Getting to know Margaret's just been a blessing. The Napa Valley, Linda and I both grew up here. The valley's about 30 miles long, about 5 miles wide at its widest point. Runs north and south axis, so the sun, the east to west sun, gets a full day's exposure, which helps the grapes and the fruit. It's a little bit of a late harvest this year. We had some cool weather.
Yes.
Warming up this week, which is ideal for the harvest, to get that sugar content, get the bricks up in the grapes. So we're just thankful it's going to be a bountiful harvest. It's going to be a very good vintage. There's never a bad vintage in Napa Valley. So that's what we do. And this is just fantastic to come out and share this food and wine in a good company and friendships and future opportunities working together with wine and food and entertainment. The wine is phenomenal. It's delicious. It has that that bouquet that you always look for in a nice red wine. I'm personally a favorable to red wines, but that little bit of that white on a hot day is always. I guess we start. Maybe that's the breakfast wine. We start with the Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blancs. But for the afternoon, it's always a hearty good. It's a good red wine, and it's delicious. Tried it a few times. Nothing compared to this.
To Napa.
Napa again.
Napa.
Great.
我哋今日咧請好朋友嚟啊嘛，有個好出名嘅好朋友，皇上皇 The King of King 啊！
開心。
如果你係香港嚟嘅咧，你大家都知道咧，全香港同埋廣東最出名嘅燒臘味就係皇上皇啊！
我哋謝家族嘅生意
4代
係啦，4代嘅生意嗱，一路食嘢一路配酒，美酒佳肴好朋友嗱，阿 Stephen
係
你咧屋企咧幾代咧都係餐飲業嘅，
係冇錯
係啦。咁你今日咧揾到呢個 Ampersand 嘅靚酒，係同埋咧有啲美食嘅 Ampersand 個廚房出嚟嘅，你感覺如何啊？
咁我第一件事咧就係我好中意食餃子嘅，
係啦係啦。
咁所以我第一啖咧就係食餃子。
啊，因為 Stephen 咧好喜歡攪震啊，所以咧喜歡食餃子啊。飲翻呢杯靚酒 Ampersand 你覺得配唔配先？配唔配先？係啦。
呢啲好靚嘅紅酒，
食得黏嚟，
好 natural。呢啲酒咧係響阿 Margaret Wong 嗰個特別嘅佢叫咩嚇？
莊園喺出邊係啦，喺對面咗。
小欣，我啲廣東話有陣時嚟咗美國30幾年咧，唔記得點講。
我嚟咗45年，講啲廣東話都好過你啊！啊，真係。
你40幾年，我30幾年。
我哋 Once again, cheers！ 乾杯，乾杯！飲勝。
Martin.
Hey, good.
Good to see
How
you.
long have you? How long since we met in Shanghai?
You know, it's been a few years. We miss you over there. When are you coming back?
Well, I hope to come back, but I'm so glad to see you in Napa. Kurt, I understand that you are an expert. 在上海，你通常是喝意大利的酒、法国的酒，还是 Napa Valley 的酒？什么是你最喜欢喝的酒？
最大的问题就是 Napa Valley 的酒是稍微贵一点，这是因为税的关系。But I think people really appreciate all of the different wines. There's quite a lot of variety, and also 中国的葡萄酒也很不错。I think the wine industry itself and food generally has been one of those bright spots in the U.S.-China relationship.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you very
With good
much.
wine.
It's
Cheers.
Good wine and good food and good company.
即係多謝晒老細，我多謝四晚教咗我咁多嘢有關咧釀酒唔單止係一門科學，亦係一門藝術，同埋咧Margaret 多謝晒，提供啲咁嘅美酒佳肴喺 Napa 咧，我哋相對喺第二次咧，而任何啲中國人又好，外國人又好，世界嘅遊客嚟到 Napa 我哋美酒配中國菜，多謝晒。
多謝。
10%，
OK，多謝晒。
多謝晒，多謝晒，多謝晒。